Really, or maybe I can turn towards me. Just make sure you can hear it. All right. Almost there. I've never been involved in a live stream before. This is going to be live streamed, yes. This is a nice turnout. Excellent. Is the microphone on now? Okay. Are we in fact live streaming? We are. Welcome world to the 2021 NMU Quiz Bowl faculty student match. Is there feedback? Is there still feedback? No. Not quite so bad? A little bit. I'm sure that'll be taken care of as I speak. Slowly, we're working on it. So, I see the faculty is making its way into the room. That's fantastic. My faculty colleagues. I am Michael Joy. I am the coach of the NMU Quiz Bowl team. Thank you for that. What? Thank you for that warm welcome. We are a team that is a student organization and has been around for 12 years. This past year, the team went to the national championship tournament and finished 15th in the country, so that deserves a round of applause. We'll do a little bit of housekeeping and then we will play the games. First of all, I want to thank the many supporters who make the Quiz Bowl team possible, including our former provost, now president, Carrie Schuling, who is here tonight, so thank you. Longtime supporter of the team. Next, I'll give a long list of long-named departments. You don't need to applaud for each one of them, but just know collectively they're wonderful. Library and Instructional Support, who has arranged the technical things here today, the Honors Program, the College of Art and Design, College of Business, School of Health and Human Performance, School of Education, Leadership and Public Service, Department of Languages, Literatures and International Studies, the Department of Psychological Science, the Department of Communications and Media Studies, and the Math Department. How about a round of applause for that? Seemed a little to say the mathematics department, but it's the math department. And the biology department too, actually. They give us vans. They let us use their vans. And also we have a number of individual donors, alumni, parents, and parents of former students who contribute every year to the Quiz Bowl team. If you like our Facebook page, you can find out how to give. So do that. We're playing Quiz Bowl collegiate rules, which are similar to High School Bowl. Some of you may have seen High School Bowl on TV 13 or played on High School Bowl. There are some differences. I have sent the rules to the faculty. I am sure they have carefully studied the rules. I'll give you a brief description. It'll be difficult to remember. It'll come clear as we play the games. We have toss-up questions and bonus questions. Both teams, which will be here, can compete to answer a toss-up question. This is done individually, no consultation. Every year, there's a bit of a problem with that part, but no consultation. I'm looking at one half of the room. Toss-ups are worth 10 points each, although if you buzz in early enough, you can get 15 points for them. If you buzz in and are wrong before I finish the question, there's a 5-point penalty, and I will complete the question for the other team. The team that answers the toss-up correctly gets a bonus question, which is a 3-part question. And on bonuses, consultation is encouraged. And you have 5 seconds per part. That is a very quick introduction to the rules. Faculty members, it's like riding a bike, you know.
Is it 5 points per bonus question answer?
Good question. The bonuses are worth 10 points per part. So you can get up to 30 points on a bonus. And you can consult. In fact, it's encouraged to consult on bonuses. Any other questions? I feel like there's less feedback now. Could that be the case? Okay, good. As I said, this is the first time I've done a live stream. It is time to introduce the teams. Now, faculty, which one of you is going to sit out the first half? Awkward looking at each other. Who's sitting out the first one? Ugo is going to sit out. Okay, good, because I didn't have you down. So, or did I? Well, I might have. So, I will now introduce the faculty. Just a moment. Have a little walk-up music for the faculty. Here we go. All right, introducing the faculty, Associate Professor of History, Dr. Chet DeFonso. Yeah. Associate Professor of Biology, Dr. Eric Autumn. Associate Professor of Earth, Environmental, and Geographical Sciences, Dr. Norma Froelich. Assistant Professor of Engineering Technology, Professor Diana Pozega. And finally, Professor of Education, Dr. Mitchell Collette. Mitchell Collette. You may take your seats. All right, and now, let me cue up.
Are these the answers?
Are these the answers here?
42. 42.
Okay, hang on.
Is there a Nolan in here?
All right, we have the student team. Starting at literature, a senior anthropology major from Negaunee, Ella Uren. Also, starting at literature, a first-year MA student from Ironwood, Brett Matson. Starting at science, a senior chemistry major from Westland, Kenzie Pearson. Starting at history, senior history major from Leonard, Andrew Seamack. And finally, the all-time scoring leader at the NMU Quiz Bowl team, a senior history and German studies major from Green Bay, Jacob Lippert. Lippert. All right. How was that for exciting?
Oh, yay.
Thought about that for 6 months. Fantastic. All right, now we'll be more sedate and play the game. Oh, yes. Let's do a buzzer check. We'll start with Dr. DeFonso down there at the end. And then the next person would be, great. Okay.
Because old people can't hear the higher tones.
Yeah, that's right.
So I can turn it louder. I'll turn it louder. Try buzzing again. I turned it softer.
You turned it off.
Try again. That's loud. Okay. Is that loud enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to push it through.
Going swimmingly so far. By the way, we're going to play 2 games, and if there's a tie after those 2 games, then we will have a half-game tiebreaker. By request, we will start with the more difficult questions. These are nationals-level questions of the sort that the teams played this April against teams like Tufts, Amherst, and Harvard. So, both teams ready? Here we go. Toss-up number 1. After this artist's death, his friend Paul Albert Bartholomé prepared 72 of his never-shown sculptures for casting. This artist created a wax sculpture of Marie van Gotham that he dressed in a horsehair wig and real garments. This sculptor's... That is Chet DeFonso.
Degas.
Degas is correct. Oh. And I'm keeping score. It's been a couple years. All right, that was 10 points for the profs. There's your bonus, profs. After stating this line, the speaker implores the reader to get with child a mandrake root and tell me where all past years are. First, give this first line of a John Donne song that suggests finding a woman true and fair is impossible, stating, if thou find'st one, let me know. You can consult on bonuses, remember. What's still true? Or not. Okay, what's your answer?
I don't know.
We have no answer. The answer is go and catch a falling star. This romantic poet's sonnet, Bright Star, implicitly compares the title Sleepless Eremite to his love, Fanny Braun. You may consult.
Keats.
Keats it is, John Keats, yes. And this author's poem, Evening Star, admires the distant fire of the title object. The title bird cries nevermore in his poem, The Raven.
Poe.
Poe is right. 20 points on the bonus for the profs. Give him a tepid round of applause. Come on, that's pretty good. All right, yay faculty, nice. All right, next toss-up for both teams is this. During this campaign, an alliance with the Yi people was sealed by drinking a chicken's blood, enabling a crossing of the Tatu River. Shortly after this campaign, Edgar Snow wrote a book titled For a Red Star.
The Long March.
That is the Long March of the Red Army, and that is power. Here's your bonus, students. An 1877 libel trial arose from a critic's assertion that this artist was asking 200 guineas for flinging a pot of paint in the public's face. First, name this artist whose paintings include The Falling Rocket.
1877.
What's your answer?
Whistler.
It is Whistler, James Whistler, very nice, yay. Whistler sued this Victorian art critic who wrote Modern Painters.
It's that guy.
Is it the guy, the Royal Academy
Answer.
guy? Reynolds.
It is Ruskin. And the paintings at the center of the libel trial was described by this term, which was coined by Whistler to describe paintings that depict a nightly scene.
Nocturne.
Yeah, nocturnes.
Nocturne is right, 420. And the students have taken the lead by 5. All right, anybody's game. Next toss-up, all teams. A hybrid of this algorithm and insertion sort called Tim sort is the default in modern versions of Python. This recursive algorithm is well suited to linked lists. It is stable but not in place as it requires big O of n space to repeatedly split its input into 2 subarrays. John von Neumann developed, for 10 points, what sorting algorithm named for its characteristic step of combining 2 smaller sorted lists? Ooh.
Aggregate.
Aggregate is not correct. No penalty. Free guess, profs? No consultation? All right, you don't have it. It is merge sort. Merge sort. All right, we move on to the next toss-up, all teams. The kind of action named for these things is the definition of language and literature according to Kenneth Burke. A book by Victor Turner is titled For the Forest of These Things. People produce these things via relationships with others according to a theory developed by George Herbert Mead and known as these things interactionism. For 10 points, name these things, which, similarly to signs, represent other concepts. Symbols is correct, yes, for 10. Here's your bonus, students. This company's presence on Mauritius is largely to blame for the extinction of the dodo bird. First, name this powerful company that was granted a spice monopoly by the government of the Netherlands. What do you got? Dutch East India Company is right. The Dutch East India Company was often identified by this 3-letter monogram, which comes from the company's Dutch name.
VOC.
VOC is correct. And the Dutch East India Company funded the 1605 voyage of this Dutch explorer, the first European to sight Australia.
That's not Tasman, is it? No.
Von Diemen. Von Diemen.
It is Janszoon, Willem Janszoon. 20 points on the bonus for the students. They have extended their lead. All right. By the way, I am completely neutral. I'm completely neutral. All right. Next toss-up. A song by this artist decries romanticizing the theft and bloodshed that made America the land of the free. This artist sang America the Beautiful before Super Bowl 55. This artist stated, "You're taking my life from me, and will anyone fight for me in 2020's I Can't Breathe," and released a 2019 album whose title starts with the words, "I used to know." For 10 points, name this R&B artist whose stage name is a pronoun.
Her.
Her is correct, yes. Very nice. Here's your bonus, students. This author wrote a 1972 novella that doesn't use any vowels other than E. First, name this author of a novel translated into English as Avoid, which does not use the letter E at all. Always an interesting concept. Who's the author? It is Georges Perec. Georges Perec. Georges Perec joined Raymond Queneau in this literary movement that used many constrained writing techniques.
Minimalism.
That makes sense.
What do we got?
Minimalism?
It is not minimalism, it is Oulipo. Oulipo. And Perec and Queneau primarily wrote in this language shared by many writers in Oulipo.
French.
Yeah, it is French for 10 points. Good job. All right, yes, applause. I'll give you a score check at the half, by the way. Next toss-up, all teams. At the end of this story, a long, loud wail of disappointment and misery encourages a man to run out into an empty street. The advice to be sensible is given by Sergeant Major Morris in this story, whose second part ends after a man from Ma and Megan's brings Mr. and Mrs. White news of their son's death and 200 pounds.
The monkey's paw.
The monkey's paw is correct. Nice choice. 4-10. Here's your bonus. This event triggered Allie Mayfair Richards' phobia regarding blood and clowns. First, name this real-world event that traumatizes a character played by Sarah Paulson during Cult, the 2017 season of an FX series.
Isn't it Trump getting elected?
Oh, that would make sense.
Trump
Yeah.
getting elected.
It is the 2016 presidential election, yes. Cult was a season of this anthology series which casts Paulson, Evan Peters, and others in different roles each season.
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story, or AHS. And the 2016 season of American Horror Story, which featured historian Doris Kearns Goodwin playing herself, was named for this colonial location.
Roanoke.
Roanoke for 30, yes. Nice job.
You're kicking our asses.
It's early, it's early.
If we do this
All right.
again, we'll take them out for drinks first.
Sneaky.
Soda.
All right, next toss-up. Here we go. Maybe this will be more up your alley. Organic compounds. Oh, thank you. Organic compounds with this functional group are capable of undergoing exothermic self-accelerating decomposition. An acidic form of this functional group is found in MCPBA, an oxidant used to convert alkenes to epoxides. A compound with this functional group is decomposed by the enzyme catalase. Oxygen atoms have an oxidation state of -1 in for 10 points. What functional group found in the compound H2O2?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yes, hydrogen peroxide or just peroxide is acceptable. Good job. 10 points. All right. Yay, faculty. Okay, faculty, let's see how you do with this. Answer the following about the variation of parameters. First, it is a method of solving second-order examples of these equations that relate a function of one variable and one or more of its derivatives. Got an answer? These are differential equations. The technique solves linear differential equations that do not have this property, in which an equation can be written with all the y terms on the left of the equal sign and 0 on the right.
It's the
Answer? No.
horizontal.
Homogeneity. And this function of two solutions f and g, which equals fg prime minus gf prime, appears in the variation of parameters method. This was a tough one to draw. Okay, I'm not sensing it. This is Vronskian. Nothing on the bonus? All right, let's move on. Next toss-up. All teams. In 1779, a British commander with this surname was captured after his long march from Fort Detroit failed to take Fort Sackville. A 1775 raid carried out by the Hearts of Oak was led by another man with this surname, who later led the nighttime assault on Redoubt 10 at the Battle of Yorktown. For 10 points, give this shared last name of the British commander Henry and of George Washington's aide-de-camp.
Clinton.
Not Clinton, sorry. Nick 5, finish for the profs. And of George Washington's aide-de-camp Alexander. Buzz?
Hamilton.
Yes. Is your buzzer not working? Oh. Okay. We'll give it to you. You made a gesture towards the buzzer. Okay. Hamilton it is, yes. There's a musical about Hamilton, I think. Okay, here's your bonus. This man became increasingly violent and unpredictable after the death of Percy Hunt in an ambush. First, name this Australian soldier who was executed in 1902 by the British Army for war crimes along with his friend Peter Handcock. This person's name was Breaker Morant. Breaker Morant. Morant and Hancock were accused of killing prisoners of war and civilians during this conflict between the British Empire and Dutch settlers in South Africa.
The Boer War.
That is the Boer War, yes. And Morant participated in scorched earth tactics laid out by this British field marshal who won the 1898 Battle of Omdurman in Sudan.
Kitchener.
Kitchener is right for 20 points. Nice comeback. Good job. Okay. Got ourselves a game. Here's next toss-up. Some critics have linked the dark mood of this composer's Fourth Symphony to the removal of a cancerous throat tumor. Before writing his own First Symphony, Samuel Barber studied this man's C major, one-movement, Seventh Symphony.
Sibelius.
Sibelius is correct for power. Actually, not power. Still correct. Sibelius it is. For 10 points, name these American Indian authors. First, this author of the memoir Crazy Brave and the poetry collection In Mad, Love, and War was named the U.S. Poet Laureate in 2019.
Joy Harjo? Go for it. Joy Harjo?
Joy Harjo is correct. This writer created the biracial character Zitz in his 2007 novel Flight, which was published 10 years after his The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Sherman Alexie is right. And this Kiowa novelist's 1968 House Made of Dawn initiated the Native American Renaissance movement in literature.
Mama Day.
Mama Day is right. And Scott Mama Day, 30 points on the bonus. Very nice. Here's toss-up 10. This country's government runs the Integrated Joint Operations Platform and the Clean Net Guardian phone app. The profits of this country's State Grid Corporation dropped 81% during COVID. The CEO of a company from this country skipped a taping of Africa's Business Heroes and was missing for 3 months after a $34 billion IPO was canceled. The Alibaba Group is based in
China.
China, yes. 410. Here's your bonus. Students, answer the following about the particle number of a gas. First, the particle number is conjugate to this value. It is subtracted from the energy of a state in an exponential that appears in the Fermi-Dirac distribution.
That's a fun one. Entropy.
This is the chemical potential. Chemical potential. When the particles are indistinguishable, this measure of a system's disorder scales with the particle number.
Entropy.
Entropy is correct, yes. And applying Stirling's approximation to the factorial of the particle number allows derivation of this formula for the entropy of a monatomic ideal gas.
How do I shrug louder?
I don't know.
Again, these are- What you got?
The ideal gas.
This is called the Sackur-Tetrode equation. 10 points, though, on the bonus. That's the half. These are nationals level questions, by the way. At the half, students 180, profs 70. Anybody's game. We have some substitutions. Right? All right. Here are some substitutions. Andrew, Kenzie, and Brett will be stepping away for the moment. And I will introduce Delina Simon, Ken Brunger, and Veronica Line. Sorry, I wrote down your majors and things, and it's all gone. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So, any subs on the prof side? No? Okay, next game. Next game?
What should all be economics next?
Okay. He looks comfortable there. Okay. All right, next game. Okay, toss-up next. Toss-up 11. Buildings along this city's Boulevardul Magaru collapsed in the 1977 Vrancha earthquake. The 1970s communist program of systemization aimed to demolish this city's historic... Bucharest is correct. Yes. Nice job. Have you been there?
No?
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
It was a fast buzz. Here's your bonus then. The main figures in this painting are perched on a wire attached to a crank on its right side. First, name this 1922 piece depicting 4 stick figure birds. Good thing he's not playing.
The name of the painting?
Yes, name of the painting.
Uh,
Answer?
Bird on a wire?
Bird on a wire.
It's not bird on a wire. It is called Twittering Machine. Twittering Machine was painted by this Swiss-German artist whose Bauhaus lectures are collected in his namesake notebooks.
I'd say clay.
Paul Klee is correct, yes. And in 1911 and 1912, Klee worked on the publications of this movement founded by Vasily Kandinsky and Franz Marc.
The,
Answer?
Blue Rider.
Blue Rider is correct for 20 points. Nice job. You dug it out. Okay. All right. Nice comeback here, profs. Here we go. Next toss-up. The potential over this quantity squared gives the fractional frequency shift for weak field gravitational redshift. 8 pi big G over this quantity's 4th power multiplies the stress energy tensor in the Einstein field equations. This quantity is set to 1 in natural units for special relativity. Every inertial observer measures the same value of, for 10 points.
Time.
No, not time. Sorry, Nick, 5. Finish for the other side. What constant that represents a universal speed limit? No consulting. This is Deanna? Yeah.
Is it the speed of light?
It is the speed of light. Yes. Good job. Eric, Adam, were you consulting?
I was saying speed of light.
Oh, okay. All right. I may have to apply a penalty at some point.
I was saying it before.
The speed of light it is. Here's your bonus. Here's your bonus, profs. Answer the following about people rumored to be the man in the Iron Mask. First, the man in the Iron Mask might have been a sibling of this French Sun King.
Louis XIV.
Louis XIV. Yeah, Louis XIV. Hugh Ross Williamson proposed that the prisoner was actually Louis's father and was contracted by this French queen to help produce an heir.
Anne of Austria.
Anne of Austria, correct, yes. And others claimed the man in the Iron Mask was this illegitimate son of England's Charles II, who was beheaded after revolting against James II.
Monmouth.
The Duke of Monmouth for 30 points. Nice job. All right, it's getting interesting. Next toss-up. A British general with this last name was known as No Flint for using bayonets to attack Anthony Wayne's troops at the Battle of Paoli. A British foreign secretary with this last name remarked that the lamps are going out all over Europe in August 1914.
Gray.
Gray it is, yes. Good job. Okay, here's your bonus. Combining these drugs with a fibrate greatly increases the chance for muscle-related side effects. First, name these drugs that competitively inhibit HMG KO reductase. Statins is correct, yes. Statins cause an increased expression of receptors for this compound, which is often referred to as bad cholesterol to differentiate it from HDL.
LDL.
LDL is correct, yes. And VLDL, IDL, and LDL all expressed as apolipoprotein on their surface. Yeah, I'm just getting there. On the other hand, chylomicrons only express a 48% fragment of this protein.
It's the apolipoprotein E, the receptor.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, apolipoprotein E.
Apolipoprotein B?
I said E, but I guess I'm wrong.
If you said E, you're wrong because it's B. Apolipoprotein B. But you got 20 points. Give him 20 points. Okay.
Good job.
All right. Let's never speak of that question again. All right, next toss-up, all teams. The protagonist of this novel almost forgets to visit his dean at the Stanton Institute the same day he stands naked at the edge of a lakeside granite cliff. A trial in this novel is partly prompted by a scandalous nude figure designed for the Temple of the Human Spirit that is modeled on Dominique Francone. Out of principle, architect Howard Rourke.
The Fountainhead.
The Fountainhead, yes. My goodness. All right, students, here's your bonus. In 1829, Joseph Smith was baptized in this river after a supposed meeting with John the Baptist. First, name this major river of the mid-Atlantic which flows south past Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and 3 Mile Island before entering Chesapeake Bay.
The Ohio.
It is the Susquehanna River. Susquehanna River. The Susquehanna flows out of Otsego Lake near this state's city of Cooperstown in the foothills of the Catskill Mountains.
Yeah. New York.
New York it is, and the name Susquehanna comes from a Lenape word for these animals that were traditionally dredged from Chesapeake Bay by skipjack boats.
So like clams, it's some kind of shell.
What you gonna go with?
Clams.
Oysters. 10 points though, 10 points on the bonus. Good job. Okay, next toss up, all teams. And I'm sure I'll make some mistakes on pronunciation here at Gotham. Just getting out of the way right now. The purine analog, cladribine, is prescribed to treat the hairy cell type of this disease. One type of this disease involves a translocation between chromosomes 9 and 22 that creates the Philadelphia chromosome. This disease can be divided into myeloid and lymphoid types, and commonly...
Leukemia.
Leukemia is correct, yes.
I didn't want to buzz in early, though.
For 10. All right, students, here's your bonus. Answer the following about female authors who released 2 novels many years apart. First, this writer's second novel, Go Set a Watchman, was released 55 years after To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee is correct. This author wrote about the Hejira Anjum in the Ministry of Utmost Happiness, published 20 years after her debut, The God of Small Things. Roy is correct. And a Harlem Renaissance author with this surname released The Living is Easy and The Wedding 47 years apart. Another author with this surname wrote a novel about the cynical Hollywood painter Todd Hackett. What you got? Smith. Not Smith, it is West. West. Dorothy West or Nathaniel West. 20 points on the bonus. Give him a round of applause. All right, we'll do a 3/4 score check. We have 225 to 175 at the 3/4 point. Getting close. Here we go, next one. Toss-up. This film's protagonist hugs a body with red and white shoes that dangles from a scaffold. This film's protagonist is unable to become a soldier like his friend Yorkie after hurting himself with a grenade. The 10-year-old protagonist of this film loses his fanaticism after...
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit is correct. All right, here's your bonus. Students, aside from its penultimate E-flat major triple fugue, every movement of this piece is either in C major or C minor. First, name this set for piano based on a theme that Anton Schindler claimed its composer dismissed as a cobbler's patch. And you got a guess? It is the Diaboli Variations. This composer wrote the Diaboli Variations after Anton Diaboli solicited many composers for variations for a charity benefit. What you guess? I'm afraid this time it is Beethoven. And Diaboli also solicited a variation from this student of Beethoven and teacher of Franz Liszt, who composed a set of exercises titled The Art of Finger Dexterity.
Schumann.
That's a tough one. What you got?
Schumann.
This is Carl Czerny. Carl Czerny. Nothing on that tough bonus. All right. Still anybody's game. Next toss-up. This city hosts the National Palace of the Yang di Pertuan Agong.
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is correct. Nice buzz, nice buzz. I was going to say other things about Kuala Lumpur. Now I never will. Sorry. Here's your bonus. Experts in the use of this object are given a title meaning Master of the Blast. First, name this musical instrument made from a ram's horn and used in many Jewish ceremonies.
What is this called? I can see it. It's in the box.
Answer? This is called the shofar. Shofar. The shofar is blown at the end of this Day of Atonement.
No, that's not Jewish. Rosh Hashanah.
Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur. And 100 blasts of the shofar are performed on Rosh Hashanah to commemorate the cries of the mother of this Canaanite army captain who was killed with a tent peg by Jael.
Oh my god. Drove it through his head while he was sleeping.
Got anything? This is Sisera. 2 tough bonuses in a row. Yikes. But you've extended your lead by 15 points. 3 toss-ups to go, I think. Yeah, 3 to go. Toss-up. A group called Gliea developed an offshoot of this movement whose name starts with the prefix ego. The author of Backbone Flute, who signed this movement's manifesto, A Slap in the Face of Public Taste, was Vladimir Mayakovsky. This movement's first manifesto claimed a car was more beautiful.
Deconstructivism.
Afraid it is not deconstructivism. I'll finish for the profs. Claimed a car was more beautiful than the winged victory of Samothrace. Filippo Marinetti was part of for 10 points. What movement glorifying?
Futurism.
Futurism is correct, yes. For 10 points. It's going to come down to the end here. Here's your bonus. Profs, in 2018, the government of this state sued India's Adani Group over the coal runoff at Abbott Point. First, name this state where Adani's proposed Carmichael coal mine has sparked environmentalist opposition. Answer?
Tennessee.
It is Queensland. Queensland. Critics claim that increased oil shipments will further damage this landmark, the world's largest structure built by living organisms off Queensland's coast. The Great Barrier Reef is correct. And environmental protesters targeted this predecessor of Anthony Albanese as head of the Australian Labor Party for his neutral stance on the Carmichael mine. It is Bill Shorten, but you got 10 points on that bonus. 10 points. 2 toss-ups to go. A reminder, the next game will have somewhat easier questions. So, toss-up is this. In 1982, this city's orchestra voted to exclude Sabine Meyer despite the support of conductor Herbert von Karajan. Turkish woman Nermin
Berlin.
Berlin is correct for power. Okay, here's your bonus. This first baseman was one of the few Major League Baseball players to develop serious symptoms of COVID-19 during 2020. First, named as 2020 National League MVP, who led his team to the NLCS.
Seriously, baseball?
We studied on hockey.
You studied hockey?
You studied hockey before this? Well, anything? This person's name is Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is the first baseman of this NL East team, which has not won a World Series since the departure of Chipper Jones and Greg Maddux. These questions are from the spring of 2021. What's your answer? What?
That's
It is Atlanta, who just won the World Series, right? Yeah. Okay, Atlanta. And this player, who won the 2012 World Series MVP with the Giants, made brief appearances with the Braves in the 2020 NLCS, surprising many fans who were unaware he was on the roster. Some rough bonuses this game.
it's a joke. Dale Murphy.
It is not Dale Murphy, who did play for the Atlanta Braves. Pablo Sandoval. Pablo Sandoval. So nothing on the baseball bonus. Here is the last toss-up, and it is this. Special lines called swan bands are indicative of this element in stellar atmospheres. The Murchison and Allende meteorites are members of a class of chondrites named for this element. Low-mass stars begin producing this element in a helium flash that marks the start of the triple alpha process. Stars bigger than the sun fuse hydrogen in a cycle named after, for 10 points, what element along with nitrogen and oxygen?
Carbon.
Carbon is correct. Yes, good job. All right, here's your bonus. This man called his subject a conspiracy within a conspiracy in a missive he wrote under the name Mr. X. First, name this American diplomat and advocate of containment who wrote the long telegram.
George Kennan.
George Kennan is correct. Kennan's notion of a conspiracy within a conspiracy referred to this communist state to which Kennan was U.S. ambassador in 1952.
East Germany?
This was the Soviet Union. And this historian won a Pulitzer Prize for his 2011 biography of Kennan. He previously wrote about U.S.-Soviet relations in We Now Know and 2005's The Cold War.
Starts with a K. Koch.
It is actually John Lewis Gaddis. John Lewis Gaddis. So 10 points on the bonus. This was a close game. Here's the final score, 230 to 245. Students win game one. All right. Give us 1 minute. We need to sub out, and you have the roster. Or I don't actually have the roster to start the next game for the students. Who's going to sub out for the props?
We've got to win the second one with the tiebreaker, right? I know.
Jacob, you stay in. Brett, Tom, Isla, Veronica.
Okay. Brett, Tom, Isla, Veronica are coming in. Oh, okay. All right. So Isla, Tom are the two new players. Okay. And we have Ugo coming in.
Well, that was closer than I thought it was.
Good job on all the.
All right. That was a good game. A very good game. Okay.
I gotta say that one was embarrassing because I'm like,
Are we ready?
picture it. I can do
Ready?
it. I can solve
Okay. Okay. All right, we'll start game two. The profs need to win this game, otherwise the students will retain the championship. By the way, that trophy is not actually for this tournament. That's just there for decoration. To show you, that's the Superior Cup held by the winner of Tech versus NMU. This trophy has never left this campus. So, not casting aspersions on our friends at Tech. All right. Okay, here we go. The onus is on the profs to win a game. Let's see what happens. Toss-up number one. As governor of this state, Pete Wilson supported a 1994...
California.
California is right for power. Yep. These will be a little easier. Here's your bonus. In a process called pumping, the gain medium of these devices is supplied with energy. First, name these devices that emit coherent, narrow beams of light.
Laser tag? It's a game, a laser tag?
Gain, and it is lasers. It's lasers, yeah. Lasers rely on population inversion, in which the majority of electrons are in this kind of state with a higher energy than the ground state. Excited is correct. I think you were saying that. And two beams of light are coherent if the difference in this quantity for the beams is constant. Two waves can undergo destructive interference if this quantity differs by 180 degrees.
Phase.
Phase is correct. A phase shift. 30 points. Perfect score. Oh boy. All right, toss up two, all teams. The first sequel to Caleb Carr's novel The Alienist is named for one of these things. A statue of one of these things inspires Oliver to become a stonecutter in a novel about the Altamont resident Eugene Gant, written by Thomas Wolfe. Roy Cohn and Prior Walter suffer from AIDS in a Tony Kushner play named for these. Angels is correct, yes. 4-10. Angels in America was that play. Here's your bonus, students. In 2011, this city erected a bronze statue of a seated girl called the Statue of Peace, which honors victims forced into slavery during World War II. First, name this capital city, where protesters at the weekly Wednesday demonstration seek justice for survivors once known as comfort women. Seoul is correct. The Statue of Peace faces the embassy of this country, whose imperial military forced civilians to become comfort women. Japan is right. Many comfort women were also taken from this puppet state in northeastern China that Japan established in 1932. Manchukuo is right for 30 points. My goodness. All right, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Toss-up 3. In 1776, this military engineer proposed a theory of earth pressure on retaining walls. A constant named for this man equals 1 over the product of 4 pi and the vacuum permittivity. Gauss's law for electricity is equivalent to an inverse square law named for this physicist that describes the force between two stationary charged particles. For 10 points, what Frenchman is the namesake of the SI unit of charge? Yeah. Coulomb is correct. Yes, Coulomb. Good job. Okay, props, here's your bonus. There are massive deposits of jade in this country's northern Kachin state, which is also the site of the proposed Myitsan Dam. First, named a Southeast Asian country where a February 2021 military coup occurred in the planned capital of Naypyidaw.
Myanmar?
Myanmar is correct. This city served as Burma's capital prior to 2005 and is still Burma's most populous city.
Rangoon?
I need to prompt you for a more updated name. Do you have an answer? Yangon. Yangon is the only acceptable answer. Sorry. Yangon is near the delta of this longest river in Burma. Its headwaters are the proposed site of the Myitsan Dam. Longest river in Burma is nothing. The Irrawaddy. The Irrawaddy is the answer. 10 points. 10 points on the bonus. Would you like to protest? I am the...
Burma instead of Myanmar.
Both are acceptable. Both are acceptable, actually. For that part, both are acceptable. Not for part 2.
That's convenient.
That's convenient. That's just...
Just heckling. Carry on.
I am the protest committee. We'll take it up at the end of the game. Okay, current score, 65-40. Next toss-up. E.C. Singer worked with this government's Navy to build a spar torpedo used to sink the Housatonic. While leading this government's Navy, Stephen Mallory approved the creation of the H.L. Hunley, an early submarine. At the Battle of Hampton Roads, the USS Monitor clashed with an ironclad. The Confederacy is the answer, yes. 10 points. Here's your bonus. Students, answer the following about the Washington, D.C. National Hotel. First, in this memoir, Solomon Northrop described staying at the National before he was sold into bondage in 1841. 12 years a slave is correct. In early 1857, a mysterious illness struck guests at the National, killing the nephew of this Pennsylvanian president-elect. Buchanan is right. And this actor rented the National's room 228 in April 1865, where he met with associates like George Atzerodt. John Wilkes Booth for 30 points for the students. Students have taken the lead. Next toss-up, all teams. This island once contained a home for retired sailors in its Snug Harbor neighborhood, which is just south of the city of Bayonne. A 2,200-acre park is being built atop this island's massive Fresh Kills landfill. In 1990, Staten Island, power. Here's your bonus, students. Answer the following about the French horn. First, the French horn mouthpiece obliges players to develop a very firm type of this trait, which denotes the overall tension and placement of a musician's lips while playing. Embouchure is correct, yes. Since standard French horns lack this common brass instrument component, players must turn the horn over or remove other components to void accumulated moisture within. Spit valves are correct. Decorum, please. Okay, the horn's flared end, which is known by this name, usually rests on the player's thigh during performance. Bell for 30. Nice job. All right. We can go back to the harder questions for the tiebreaker if that happens. Okay. Next toss-up, all teams. This author wrote about a 33-year-old student who reads the Bible to an illiterate family and is ultimately crucified in the short story The Gospel According to Mark. In another story by this author, the narrator communicates the location of British artillery by shooting Stephen Albert. The spy Yu Sun learns the meaning of the title Garden of Forking Paths in a story by, for 10 points, what blind author from Argentina?
Borges?
Borges is correct. Jorge Luis Borges. Muy bien, muy bien. Here's your bonus, profs. Answer the following about best-selling American novels. First, the Civil War General Lew Wallace wrote this massively popular 1880 novel. Jesus gives water to this novel's title character.
Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur, yes. This Margaret Mitchell novel about the romances of Scarlett O'Hara led U.S. fiction bestseller lists in 1936.
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind, yes. And one of the best-selling novels of the 2010s was Gone Girl, a book by this author whose other thrillers include Dark Places and Sharp Objects. What you got?
Drawing a blank.
Nothing. This is Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn. 20 points on the bonus. All right. Catching up. Okay, next toss-up. All teams. In Manichaeism, the father of greatness rules a world named for this concept that is attacked by the opposite of this concept. George Fox promoted a belief in the inner form of this concept among the Quakers. In the Sermon on the Mount, just before discussing the city on a hill, Jesus calls the disciples this concept of the world. Light is correct. For 10. Good job. Students, here's your bonus. The hemo type of this process occurs outside the body. First, name this process in which the blood of someone with reduced kidney function is artificially purified. Dialysis is correct. Dialysis is required when the amount of blood filtered through this structure drops below an acceptable level. This bundle of capillaries is surrounded by Bowman's capsule.
The nephron.
What?
The nephron?
Incorrect.
It is. Oh, it is not. It is the glomerulus. Glomerulus. Yeah. All right. They're taking pleasure in that. Okay. Here's your third part of your bonus. Another type of dialysis works by filtering the blood through this membrane that lines the abdominal cavity.
Wait, no.
Oh, no.
Peritoneal.
Peritoneum is correct. Yes. 20 points. 20 points. All right. Next toss-up, all teams. Continuing on in the realm of biology and the human body. In these structures, the serotonylation of GTPases promotes the exocytosis of these structures' alpha granules. Von Willebrand factor and fibrinogen both bind to these components, which then...
Platelets and clotting.
Platelets is correct, yes, for power. Very good. Okay, here's your bonus. A sculpture in this series became the subject of a legal battle after U.S. Customs initially refused to classify it as art. First, name this thin, curved sculpture that abstractly depicts a creature in flight. Answer? This is, do you know it? Bird in Space. Bird in Space. It comes up a lot. Bird in Space is a series by this Romanian who also sculpted The Kiss.
These guys know it.
All right, you got a guess?
Brancusi.
Yes, we'll give it to you, Brancusi or Brancusi. Correct. Nice job. The impounded sculpture had been purchased by Edward Steichen, a practitioner of this art form. Moon and Half Dome is an artwork by Ansel Adams in this medium.
Photography.
Photography is right for 20 points on the bonus. Good job. Okay, next toss-up. After a man in this novel receives a sentence of banishment, he asks to go to a place with bad weather so he will focus on his work. The controller is impressed by the courage of Helmholtz Watson in this novel, which depicts Brave New World for power. All right. The drug Soma was what I was about to talk about. Here's your bonus. The Simpsons. Questions about The Simpsons.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. Well, let's see. Okay. In a 2000 episode titled Bart to the Future, President Lisa Simpson notes, "We've inherited quite a budget crunch from this president's administration." Are you saying Donald Trump? Yeah. That's correct. It is Donald Trump, yeah. Homer turns a toaster into a time machine in the 5th Simpsons Halloween episode to be named after one of these structures of horror.
Treehouse.
Treehouse is correct, yeah. And The episode Future Drama depicts this dirt farmer and moonshiner as vice president. He raises dozens of children with his wife, Brandine. Cletus is right for 30 points, yes.
Big surprise.
All right. Proud moment. Yes. Good job. All right. One more toss-up and then we'll have the half. Toss-up. In 1973, a racehorse named for this item won the Whitney Handicap in a shocking upset over Secretariat. In the series A Song of Ice and Fire, Davos Seaworth is a knight nicknamed after... What's that? Onion is correct for power. Shrek tells Donkey that ogres are like these items. So, here's your bonus, students. A poem by this author describes good men who lament how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. First, name this author of the villanelle, Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night. Dylan Thomas is right. Captain Cat dreams of drowned sailors in this play for voices by Dylan Thomas. Got anything? This is called Under Milkwood. Under Milkwood. And like other works by Thomas, Under Milkwood was commissioned for this medium. The first version of Robert Bolt's play A Man for All Seasons was written for this medium before being adapted for TV, stage, and film. Radio is right for 20 points on the bonus. Okay, well, much like the first game, the students have a significant lead at the half, 235 to 130. All right, we have some subs. Brett, Tom, Isla, and Veronica are supposed to step out. Not Jacob. Andrew, Ella, Bella, and Kenzie come in. Oh, and Deanna's coming back. Okay, a little strategic move here by the profs.
We're gonna get economics, aren't we?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, right. Wait, did we get an actual score?
235 to 130?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Topic of the first question is economics. No, I'm kidding. I kid. All right. Thank you. So, here we go. Next toss-up, all teams. The most recent time this country hosted the Winter Olympics, skiing events were held at the Milky Way complex. A carbonate rock shares a name with this country's Dolomite Mountains. Italy is right for power. All right, students, here's your bonus. A 1970 amendment to this law banned literacy tests nationwide. First, name this act passed in 1965 to end the disenfranchisement of African Americans. Voting Rights Act is correct. The Voting Rights Act was passed during the administration of this president. Johnson, LBJ, and the Supreme Court struck down much of the Voting Rights Act in this 2013 case, which enabled states to pass restrictive ID laws without federal approval. This is called Shelby County versus Holder. So 20 points on the bonus. All right. Next toss-up, all teams. A man in this play is unconcerned by his wife's supposedly severe illness and instead keeps interrupting the maid Doreen to ask about the health of the title character. A box of scandalous letters is acquired by this play's title character, who propositions Elmire. At the end of this play, an agent of Louis XIV arrests the title character. Tartuffe is right. By Moliere. And here's your bonus. This record label's original name was Tamla, T-A-M-L-A. First, Berry Gordy Jr. founded what record label whose top acts included the Supremes and Stevie Wonder? Motown. This singer of Thriller started his solo career at Motown. Yes, okay. Anyway. And this Motown performer recorded the soul classics What's Going On and I Heard It Through the Grapevine. He was killed by his father in 1984. Marvin Gaye for 30 points. Good job. All right. Next toss-up, all teams. A version of this process uses a spinning band made of an inert material to force two substances into close contact. The McCabe-Tila method for analyzing this process assumes that the heats of vaporization are equal. The fractional form of this process is often used in petroleum refineries.
Distillation?
Distillation it is, yes. Good job. Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. It is distillation. It's still distillation, yes. Okay, so students, you get this bonus. In 1981, the FDA allowed carbonated beverages to contain this compound, which is named after one of its amino acid components. First, the most commonly used artificial sweetener in diet sodas has what generic name?
Corn syrup.
No, it's
Oh, fructose. No, it's fructose? Oh, it's a brand name.
Okay, what you got? It is aspartame. Aspartame. Okay. Part 2. 1 milligram of aspartame provides as much sweetness as 200 milligrams of this disaccharide. Table sugar is another name for this molecule.
Oh, gosh.
Sucrose, right? Yeah.
Sucrose is correct, yes. And aspartame is this type of compound formed when a carboxylic acid reacts with an alcohol. They often have fruity odors.
An acid anhydride?
And what you guess?
An acid anhydride?
No, it is an ester.
Ester.
10 points for sucrose. I guess you don't get applause for 10 points. Let's keep the energy here. Come on. All right. Next toss-up. Toss-up 15. Pythagoras may have belonged to a religious tradition that was named for this mythical character, but focused on the death and suffering of Dionysus. Inhabitants of Lesbos found this character's head, which floated down a river after he was torn to pieces by women. His wife escaped a satyr, but was fatally bitten by a snake.
Orpheus?
Orpheus is correct, yes. Nice job. Here is your bonus. Answer the following about the play Long Day's Journey into Night. First, this Irish-American playwright of The Iceman Cometh wrote Long Day's Journey into Night. Eugene O'Neill, yes. Long Day's Journey into Night focuses on this troubled family, which includes the alcoholic former actor James and the morphine addict Mary.
The Tyrone family.
Tyrone family is correct. And for much of the play, Edmund Tyrone struggles to tell his parents that he contracted this disease while in the merchant navy. Tuberculosis for 30 points. It's getting a little rough here.
Yeah, it is.
Would you mind announcing the score?
Okay. There's still time.
I really don't.
There still is time. Maybe there's still time. All right, here's the next toss-up. This empire was the first to give Samuel Morse a patent for the telegraph. Its navy was defeated by Edward Codrington at the Battle of Navarino. The Ottoman Empire is right. For power. Here's your bonus then. Answer the following about terms involving a double F. First, a musician seeing a double F written in script would know to play very loud, as those symbols represent this Italian term.
Fortissimo. Fortissimo.
It's a term. Double F is fortissimo, but just that's for the symbols.
Well, what is the answer?
Double F is fortissimo.
Yes, it's fortissimo. Okay. All right. A mathematician reading the term if, written IFF, would internally expand it to this 4-word phrase.
If and only if.
If and only if, yes. And in Irish politics, the abbreviation FF refers to this party founded by Eamon de Valera that dominated the Irish Parliament from 1932 until 2011. Fianna Fáil is correct for 30 points. Nice job. Okay. Again, you might want to... No, I'm just kidding. All right. Next toss-up. This state contains a university that lost a 7-overtime football game to Texas A&M. Louisiana is right for power. During the highest scoring match in FBS history. Okay.
Just get up and leave.
You still could turn it around. Come on. Here's your bonus. We're paying for money. We're playing for money, by the way. Did I tell you that? No. $1 a point. Okay. In this text, stones used to grind cornmeal denounce the torment they have suffered. First, name this text in which the hero twins play a ball game against the lords of the underworld, Xibalba. Popol Vuh is right. The Popol Vuh was first compiled in the Quiché alphabet of these indigenous Mesoamericans who built Tikal and Chichen Itza.
Okay, the Mayans.
The Mayans are correct. And another foe bested by the hero twins is Kabra Khan, a god of these phenomena. In Japanese legends, these events are caused by the catfish Namazu. Earthquake for 30. Nice job. Okay, next toss-up. By definition, two great circles on the same sphere are congruent and have this relationship. The grid in polar coordinates is a set of circles with this relationship. An annulus is the region between two circles with this relationship. In the plane, two distinct circles with this relationship must have different radii. No, sorry, can't take it. 5, I'll finish for the team. For 10 points, name this relationship between circles with the same center.
Concentric?
Yes. Yes, okay, I'll take it. Concentric, I'm going to take it. Concentric. Yeah, good job. Round of applause. Okay. Here's your bonus. In the 1930s, Gilbert Labine discovered deposits of radioactive pitchblende near this lake at a site that would become known as Port Radium. First, name this large Canadian lake that is north of Great Slave Lake.
Great Bear Lake, right? Great Bear Lake.
Great Bear Lake is right. While Great Bear Lake is the largest lake entirely within Canada, this westernmost Great Lake is the largest to partially border Canada. Lake Superior, yes.
Really?
It comes up a lot, actually. Well, the frustration, you can sense it. Finally, the Great Bear River, which drains the Great Bear Lake, is a tributary of this longest Canadian river.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie River is right for 30 points.
We have a Canadian on our team.
Oh, no.
We have a Mackenzie on our team.
Also true. Okay, we have a few more toss-ups. Here we go. This artist claimed to have spent hours tied to a ship's mast during rough weather as preparation for painting Snowstorm. A white flag rises above a small boat in this man's painting of a gunship that fought in the Battle of Trafalgar.
Turner.
Turner is right. Oh, yeah. Rain, steam, and speed was the end of that question. Here's your bonus. Answer the following about the military history of ancient Greece. First, Herodotus is our main source for the Persian defeat at this 490 BC battle, whose name now denotes a 26-mile race. Marathon is right. This Athenian historian described the funeral oration of Pericles in a history of the Peloponnesian War.
Come on.
Thucydides is correct. And this author wrote the Anabasis, a first-hand account of how a mercenary band called the 10,000 returned from Persia to Greece. Xenophon is right for 30 points. Okay. I'm going to give you a yellow card, Eric Adam. All right, 2 toss-ups to go, worth thousands of points each. That's a joke. That's not true. Not true. Okay. Toss-up. A 1933 military coup in this country was called the Revolt of the Sergeants. During the late 19th century, this country's independence movement was promoted by the poet Jose Marti. Cuba is right. The answer is Cuba. Okay.
I need to get a yellow card.
Here's your bonus. In January of 2021, Reddit users may have cost hedge funds. Let me finish the question. Okay. Cost hedge funds billions of dollars in a matter of days. First, Redditors drove up the price of several stocks, including that of this video game retailer. GameStop is right. GameStop shares rose in value after this billionaire tweeted "Game Stonk" in response to the Reddit community.
That sounds like such an Elon Musk thing to do.
Elon Musk is correct. And some Reddit users accidentally inflated stocks of the company that owns this TV network rather than the chain of movie theaters that shares this network's name. AMC for 30 points. Good job. Okay. And this will be the last question. Here we go. Toss up. This country's 2021 presidential election was won by a member of the Creative Opportunities Party who had previously lost to the long-serving País Party president Rafael Correa. Ecuador for power. Here's your bonus. A 5-letter adjective denotes this paradigm that was popularized by a manifesto published in 2001. First, name this approach to software development emphasizing short cycles of programming and feedback and the expectation that requirements will evolve.
I have no clue.
We're ending with a whimper. What's our answer? This is called agile software development. Second, one of the authors of the manifesto, Ward Cunningham, created the first of these hyperlinked, user-edited websites. These resources include an encyclopedia created by Jimmy Wales. Wikis are correct. And Cunningham specializes in the OOP programming paradigm named for these instances of classes that provide methods for using encapsulated data. Kind of a rough one to end with.
Just encryption?
What you got?
Encryption?
These are objects. Object-oriented. 10 points on the bonus for
We'll
them.
take it.
For, 10 points for Wiki. So let's see. Let's see here.
Oh my god.
Get the sign ready. No extra credit. 125 to 615 was the final score. The students have won. Well, so for now you've defended your title. Perhaps later this year we can do it again. We used to do this, or maybe not. Think about it. Head to the Wildcat Den or wherever you need to go to recover. Thank you everybody for coming. Let's have one more round of applause for both teams. And well done, everybody. We do have a Facebook page, Northern Michigan University Quiz Bowl team, so like it if you want. And thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Wow.